Hello everyone, welcome to our midweek reflection on this Indigenous Peoples Day and Summer Solstice. I'm Rev Deanna. I'm the minister with the United Church of Canada, serving the physical communities of Daysland, Killam and Rosalind in East Central Alberta, as well as this online community of DKR United. I am just enjoying. I've been out for a walk this morning, and after the rain, the sunshine is very welcome. The rains were much needed, and I know are still needed in some places, and in others there's flooding now. As a new, first it was fires and drought, and now it's flooding, and so on this summer solstice, we begin with a prayer for creation and for all of the people of creation, that we might somehow learn to live with creation instead of on it. And so I breathe that prayer for creation from deep within my heart, as well as also kind of soaking up that abundance blessings of creation, that after the rain and the sunshine that are so poignant right now, that lushness is actually feeling really vibrant today. The birds are singing, and the grass is feeling more soft and lush, and you can just almost hear a sigh of relief from creation itself, or at least I feel that. And so that's the solstice, and it is also Indigenous Peoples Day. And I know where we are here, our physical communities, this area, I talk to a lot of people who struggle with the work of reconciliation and the constant discussions around it. And I hear that. I really do. I hear your struggle. I also know how vital it is that we continue this journey, that we share these lands with so many people, that we need to figure out how to share and live with creation and with each other. And so on this, I want to share a couple stories. I know a few Indigenous people, unfortunately not as many as I maybe should. And so that is, I'm going to issue some challenges for this summer, and that is one of them, is to get to know someone of Indigenous ancestry, to really, and not just, oh hi, but to really get to know them and hear their story and hear about their life, and really welcome them into your circle, into your heart. So that's one. And I want to share with you a bit of my journey of getting to know someone who is a partner of a classmate of mine, and just getting to know little bits of their story. And so the question I have for you is, have you ever walked into a store and felt like the clerk was following your every move? And some of you may have experienced that, and some may experience it more than others. It is something that I am aware of that happens. May happen to me on occasion, probably more when I was like a teenager, you know, and those rowdy teenagers come into a store, you've got to watch them. But if you've had that happen to you, I want you to imagine what it would feel like having that happen to you every single time you walk into any sort of an establishment, without anyone ever making the time to get to know you. They're passing judgment upon you. And imagine what that might do to you internally, to your sense of self, to your emotion, to your heart, to your attitude towards other humans, if that happened to you every single time. And just kind of asking us to put ourselves in another's shoes for a moment today. Because that's something that my classmate has shared to me that happens to them when they walk through a store with their partner. I must say that I'm really enjoying learning from them. And one of the things is learning about tobacco. My friend teaches in a classroom and has been growing tobacco in their classroom, and they need to obviously send it out for the summer, and has gifted us with some tobacco, a plant of our own to raise and learn about. And one of the things that struck me was they said that tobacco isn't indigenous here, doesn't grow naturally, and so it's probably not going to overwinter, but once it flowers and produces seeds, you'll have enough seeds to keep regrowing it every year. And so that made me think, because I know we have I've learned about the tradition of gifting tobacco to an elder when you ask them to be present at an event, or out of respect. Kind of like how when we invite a guest speaker, or we often gift them with something as a thank you for coming and giving their time to us. And so I was like, well, if tobacco doesn't grow here, how did that become such an entrenched tradition in all these different nations? Like, what was your tradition before? And so I learned a couple things, that the tradition of the tobacco came up from the tribes and nations in the United States, where tobacco does grow more commonly. And also that they would have given something similar. And so it had my mind racing, and I remembered back to my Girl Guide training, where we talked about like edible plants and different, indigenous plants and stuff. And I said, oh, was kinnikinnick one of them? And they said, yeah, it would have been a blend of, different plants like that, and it would have been more used in a pipe, not like cigarette tobacco like we commonly gift now. And so I was learning those things just by being open to hear the story and allowing my curiosity, genuine curiosity and love to come through rather than judgment. And so on this Indigenous Peoples Day, that was what came to me, is many times in scripture we are reminded that judgment is for God, not for us. In Isaiah 33, it says, "The Lord is our judge, our lawgiver." That's Isaiah 33, verse 22. And in Matthew 7, it says, "Do not judge, or you will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." And so I think that is a good reminder for us. I think as humans, we are often far too quick to judge. You see on Facebook the whole, if you encounter someone, all you are seeing is like the tip. You don't know the whole iceberg of life that is happening under the surface for each person. And so I think if we could practice, that's the second challenge, practice this summer, letting go of judgment, and instead leaning into love, and by practicing personal invitation. Tell me about your story. Getting to know each other. Actively listening to the story of someone else. Which reminded me, often in the scriptures we lift up the healing stories in the gospel, especially in the Gospels, Jesus' healing stories. But I think if we were to take a look at them again, we might notice that the healing actually comes from being seen and heard in their struggle. It's not that whatever, if there was some sort of physical ailment, maybe it was and maybe it wasn't actually healed. But I think the healing, the real healing that is needed and that was needed in those stories was to be seen and heard. The lame man sitting at the pool, like how many people passed by for years and years? And Jesus stopped and heard his story. Heard him. Didn't say, "Oh yeah, whatever." He heard his story. And also this fact that he stopped and he issued that personal invitation to tell me your story. Why are you sitting here? And so, get that second challenge, get to know someone, hear their story. So practice letting go of judgment, hear and issue a personal invitation to hear their story. Because that is how we as people are going to heal. We are called to live in right relationship with creation, which includes all people, which includes our Indigenous people, and includes getting to know the full history of our country and of the land that we live on. And so, to help us do that, because not everyone is comfortable with approaching someone, or, like blessed like me to have a friend of a friend that you can get to know in a kind of an organic sort of way. Because I'm not talking about walking up to a stranger and asserting here and just saying, "Sit down and tell me your story." Yeah, no, that's not how we're doing it. We want it to happen organically, and and so we're not all able to do that. And so the third part of the challenge is summer reading, and we have a couple of books, and I'll try and post the links and share a little bit more, but one is called The Valley of the Bird Tail. So The Valley of the Bird Tail, and it's a true story about the Bird Tail River in Manitoba, and on one side of the valley is a settler colony and the other side is a reserve. and it's about them learning to live together. And there's a series of books called Three Pines. It's also been made into a mini series, which you can find on some of your streaming services, like Amazon Prime or whatever. And that again is a story about a community, and how the settler, it's kind of like a police drama, murder mystery kind of story. Not a lot of gore, and not scary. It just, a suspenseful drama kind of mystery show, and like a Murder, She Wrote kind of thing. And so it's about this settler community and the residential school history and Indigenous peoples bumping up against each other. And so there are many other books. If you would like a long list of books to read, if you go to our website, dkrunited.ca, there is a reading list on there, of which I think the Valley of the Birdtail is on, and potentially the Three Pines. And so they're both by Canadian authors, which is also a perk. And then in the fall, we're going to gather at some point and have some discussions for that. So you can watch for more details. And then also, as a practice for personal invitation, that's a good opportunity to say, hey, to someone else, hey, do you want to come with me to this discussion event? Or, hey, you should read this book. Or, let's read this together and discuss it. So yeah, we have lots going on, and those are our challenges for this summer, as we don't have physical worship in July. I hope to keep going with the midweek reflections, and we are also going to, as I mentioned last week, on Wednesday evenings we're going to have fireside conversations. So if you're in our physical area and want to join for one of those, watch our Facebook page and website for those details, or posters around our communities. And they're just times to do exactly that, to get together and talk about what is on our hearts. Very similar to like I do here, except for hoping that it would be physical interaction, face-to-face conversation. And yeah, just get out. And on Sunday we are having a blessing of the bikes in Rosalind, and I'm going to try and get the tobacco plants to have there so that we can share the blessing of that, and just talk about the abundant blessings of summer here, that we are enjoying the abundant blessings of our life, and trying to focus on that and let go of judgment, and be loving people. So that is my midweek reflection for today. Take care. God bless. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have found it moving, please share with someone that you think would be interested in hearing it. And also, if it inspires you, I encourage you to give. On our website, there is a donate tab that lists all the ways that you can make a financial contribution to our ministry. And know that that is deeply appreciated, and that we are trying to do better as we know better, and practicing these things that I'm challenging you to do, knowing that it's not easy, but knowing that we don't do it alone, that God goes with us. So thank you for all the support. Thank you for tuning in. Take care, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye.